I'd like to introduce you to Megan and Maurice and their unique business, Pitch Black Printing. What an amazing place. I'd love to go to Reno in Nevada. I hope it's Nevada, because that's where I think it is, and see what's going on there. They are a community printer. They are embedded in the arts community, and the story is fascinating.
And Maurice made the mistake of telling me about his super cool idea of a print studio that supports our local arts community and sells local art and all of that. And so I needing a change at the time was like, okay, let's take this idea and run with it, and started diving into way too much.
Yeah.
So let's begin with what it means to be part of the community, the arts community in Reno.
Because we started in the arts background, we just kind of have a different approach to things. We have a different way of looking at things, different set of ideas. And again, being constrained by a lot of the same rules as I guess a lot of people consider themselves. And so we have a lot of commercial clients who come to us just because we're coming at it from a different perspective. And ultimately, in your print marketing, all anybody's trying to do is stand out against their competition. And so different ideas help you stand out.
Yeah.
And because Maurice and Megan have both been castaways from what they were doing into doing something new, I wanted to know how that happened. It was quite organic.
No, we had been friends for a long time, had a lot of the same friend group. He's a musician, and I hung out in our local music scene a lot. And so it started just with musicians and shows. And
So Megan, you were employed in a I guess a typical corporate business structure. Yeah.
Yep. I was in electrical wholesale prior to this, and Maurice was in retail.
Okay, it's not half as exciting. Okay,
No.
I was going to ask Maurice, were you trying to make a living as a musician?
I mean, it would have been nice, but I play the kind of music where I fully understand it. It's probably not going to happen.
I found the band and Maurice on YouTube, plenty of material out there.
No one can see it, but I guess you can feel it. I'm losing word by the second, and it'll still begin. The f***ing ice between the fire that has burned me out. Let the night roll in. Let the dead air collect everything. Let the words breathe out. The desert has
And sort of what I was expecting, but almost like Maurice has an alter ego.
And I still play in that same band.
So the background's neither of them in print, learning it from scratch with desktop equipment. Megan sees it as an advantage.
But also the first set of people I've spoken to who've started a print business from scratch.
Yeah.
How scary was that?
Well, I would say terrifying. I think if I were to look back at it, knowing what we know now, it was probably terrifying. But I think we kind of had an advantage from kind of not knowing, because then we were really willing to experiment with a lot. Like we were talking to a client one time. We did like higher end wedding invitations with her. And she's like, yeah, I was talking to the print shop I used to go to, and they were like, oh, nobody in town can run something this thick. And we were like, well, we'll try it. And it worked. And like, sometimes it would jam at just the right spot after everything fused. And we're like, okay, we can, I mean, it's a small wedding. We can produce this.
Yeah. Wasn't too many pieces.
Yeah. And so I think we had a lot of, it's been beneficial having a lot of lack of knowledge, so willingness to experiment.
And yes, Megan and Maurice are in a relationship, just in case you wanted to know. How do they manage to balance work and home life?
I mean, it's definitely challenging sometimes. We've had the conversation more frequently lately that like when I'm having a bad day at work, I don't have somebody to go home and unload to because he had the same bad day at work. But it also is like you learn to compartmentalize and focus in whatever needs the focus at the time, and it's worked out for us.
So I couldn't just ask for one piece of advice. I had to have two pieces of advice from each of them about stepping out there and doing something new.
What's the one key piece of advice you would give to somebody thinking of doing something similar to what you've done?
Ooh, I'm curious what yours is first, or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Talk to a professional.
Yeah.
That's we made some mistakes when we first started, just for simply not knowing. And had we talked to like a CPA or somebody like that right out of the gate, we could have avoided some, like, just some simple things, like, you know, the way that our business is structured so that we had less of a tax impact when we first started, like small things like that. I think there's uh nobody knows everything, and there's no use in pretending you know everything. And so I think just starting with the advice of people who do know is super, super helpful.
Mhm. Maurice, what are you
I
saying?
was gonna say similar. I was gonna say slow down and
Oh,
maybe plan
right.
it out a little bit better, because we definitely dove in head first, and it's worked out. But yeah, like Megan said, if we had talked to some people, if we had slowed down and maybe planned things out a little bit better, then a few of the spots at the beginning might have been a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it might have been a little less rocky. That's we've added different pieces to our business from the beginning, and we've noticed that we get really excited and we'll start on something will slow us down, and we ultimately wind up with a better solution because we have to stop and think about it a little bit more.
Who do you see as the people that helped you set this up? I was surprised that they both said they had great support from an equipment manufacturer, the sales guy from an equipment manufacturer. Who'd have thought? Well done, sales guys.
Our Canon production sales rep has probably been responsible for a fair amount of our growth, just because of his questions and throwing ideas at us and saying, well, this is what I see you doing, this is where I think it might work. And so I think there's a lot of value in that kind of perspective too.
Yeah.
All right. Don't lose him if he's got a good angle, because they're few and far between.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
great.
we recognize he's a unique one.
Yeah.
So thank you to Megan and Maurice for letting me see inside your life. And I just love the clips of Maurice really giving it 110%, if that's possible. I know it's not, but I was really fascinated to see how this mild-mannered guy suddenly became in your face. But thank you for letting me see inside your business and your heads on Diary of a Castaway.